Everybody, it's Julian with Manning Auto. So we got a fun one today. I'll just show you. This is a tractor from 1977. I have zero experience with older cars, let alone old tractors. But the owner insisted that, if I know how to do electrical work, that I would be able to figure it out. So I figured I'd come give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, I lose my time and, don't make any money, but it'd be a learning opportunity. So I came out, gave it a look. Some guy was out here before, and they put a new belt on it, and it was running just fine before, and it didn't run after. So I thought, okay, let's see what he did here. So I'm looking it over, and you can see here, right there is the belt. Right down there. That's all in the front, just like any other vehicle. And the starter is here, and the battery sits right here. I just have it out. So I couldn't really see anything that he possibly could have done up here to cause it not to start. So I guess he threw an ignition switch on it, and that didn't fix the problem. So, that's usually what happens when you just throw parts at something and you don't actually test. So I put the old ignition switch back on, which is sitting right here, and it's pretty annoying to figure out what was what because none of it's labeled. So I just had to, figure out what the main power wire was to get power to the switch. And then from there, just do the key in different functions. You turn it to the left, and that turns the glow plug on. So you just figure out up here where power comes out when you turn it left. That's pretty simple. And then you turn it to the right, not in the run position, but just in the accessory mode. And then you see where power comes out there. Luckily, the owner actually found this old instruction book, which had the schematics in it for the tractor. So that was actually very helpful in figuring out how to wire the ignition switch. So I got all wired up, and obviously didn't fix the problem. It still did not start. So from there, it's a pretty simple electrical system on this. There's not too much to it. So basically, I just took the battery off, and right there's a starter, and I noticed when I was cranking it, I was getting no power to the signal. This is the signal wire that tells the starter to turn on. If I hot wired power to this, I could get it to crank. So I knew it wasn't the starter. So I tested continuity from here to where it connects on the ignition switch, and nothing. It was as if it was open. So I thought, okay, maybe just because of age, there's corrosion somewhere and it's open. So I started to just take all this old tape off to really trace the wire and see where it goes. And I found that it actually, which, I guess if I thought about it, I would have known this, but it went to the, I'm not sure what it's specifically called, but it's like the clutch, where the clutch presses in right here, the pedal. It's a manual, obviously, so you gotta manually push the clutch in before you start it. I found that even with it pressed in, I wasn't getting any power there, so that's where I started because I was the closest. And I found that, here's the clutch switch. So I just unplugged it and tested continuity from here to here with the switch pressed, and it should allow for continuity, obviously, when you press the switch, but it wasn't. So right there, that's the issue. And I made sure to test the other ends of the circuits end to end, make sure the wire wasn't open anywhere else, and it wasn't. So that actually turned out being the issue, which is crazy because, you know, obviously the guy who put a belt on, he doesn't know how to do electrical testing, but there's no way he could have caused this. It was just, you know, one of those things. It just happened. It was just a coincidence. So, yeah, she's going to need a new one of those. I'm not personally sure where to get something like that for like this, but I guess she knows somebody. So I'll let her know to get that, and in theory, it should start back up after that because I tested all the other circuits. Everything else is fine. So, yeah, I wanted to share that because, you know, I've never dealt with something like this, and I just thought it was kind of funny. You know, I only work on cars, and really mostly like newer model cars, not anything ever with like a carburetor. So, yeah, I'm happy that I actually came out here and gave it a shot because I did end up figuring it out. And, you know, it's pretty simple when it comes down to it electronically. So, yeah, that's what I got into for the last couple days. So, as you can see, I got just a little update. I haven't been on here in a while. I got my own shirts. It's got my name on it, logo, American flag, you know. Yeah, I'm really happy with how they look. Looks nice and professional. And, you know, since I'm filming, and figure I'll show you guys my truck setup right now. This was a work in progress. At first I had the bench seat in here in the back, and I took that out because it was getting overwhelming, too much stuff. This is what I'm working with right now, though. It's kind of messy, not super organized, but that's what I got to work with right now. You know, eventually my goal is to get a trailer to hook up to and put my toolboxes in it, and then I can have shelving and all that, and it'll work really well. But for now, this is what I got, and it works for me for now. I'm content with it. Got all my stuff in here. Yeah, nothing crazy up front, just normal seats. Got my laptop. I just picked up that little battery jumper from Harbor Freight because yesterday I was doing a Healy coil on a spark plug for somebody, and their battery was dead, and I jumped it with mine, and then mine wouldn't start. So I had to get a new battery for my truck. And then, you know, another lesson learned, obviously I should have already gotten a portable jump starter, being a mobile mechanic, but, you know, I'm getting stuff as I can. So yeah, that's the update for now. Julian with Manning Auto. Peace.